Human attention is never completely still. Even when the body remains motionless, attention continues to move. It shifts between thoughts, sensations, memories, expectations, and subtle perceptions that rarely receive conscious notice. This movement is so constant that it becomes invisible. It feels natural, automatic. Only when external activity slows down does attention begin to reveal itself as something that can be observed. When there are no clear demands from the environment, attention does not disappear. It reorganizes. It turns inward. It begins to settle on internal processes that usually remain in the background. Thoughts that repeat quietly. Sensations in the body that were previously ignored. Small changes in breathing, posture, or tension that were always present but unnoticed. In everyday life, attention is almost always directed outward, toward tasks, conversations, screens, goals, and future outcomes. This outward direction creates a sense of continuity and control. It gives structure to experience. When that structure dissolves, attention loses its usual anchor. This moment is often interpreted as emptiness, as boredom, as restlessness. But it is not the absence of experience, it is the absence of external direction. Attention remains active, but now it is no longer guided by a specific objective. Without a task to complete, attention becomes more sensitive. Sounds that were once ignored become noticeable. The quality of light in a room changes the atmosphere. The weight of the body becomes more apparent. Breathing, which has always been happening, enters awareness without effort. At the same time, thoughts become more visible. Not because they increase in number, but because nothing is distracting attention from them. Ideas appear without invitation. Questions repeat without resolution. Future scenarios are imagined without any immediate relevance. Attention moves toward these contents automatically. This process does not require intention. Attention simply follows what is most available. When there is no dominant external stimulus, the internal stream becomes the primary focus. The mind is designed to anticipate, to predict, to reduce uncertainty. When it does not receive enough information from the environment, it uses internal material to fill the gap. Memories, assumptions, expectations. Attention moves constantly between these elements. This movement often creates discomfort, not because the experience itself is negative, but because it contradicts the expectation that attention should be productive or purposeful. When there is no clear function, attention feels restless. Observing attention without trying to correct it allows these patterns to become visible. Repetition, preference, avoidance. Attention gravitates towards certain thoughts and resists others without any clear reason. Often, attention moves toward what is unfinished, toward unresolved situations, toward what might happen next. It projects itself forward, trying to anticipate outcomes, prevent mistakes, or prepare responses, even when there is no immediate threat. This forward movement is so habitual that it usually goes unnoticed. Only when attention is observed without interference does it become clear how much mental energy is devoted to the future. Meanwhile, the body remains in the present. It does not anticipate, it does not remember, it does not project, it breathes. It adjusts posture, it maintains balance, it functions without interpreting experience. When attention rests on bodily sensation, the quality of experience changes. Sensations do not require explanation. They do not form a narrative. They are simply present. Attention slows down. It becomes less fragmented. This shift is not an achievement. It is not a technique. It does not occur because attention is forced to stay in one place. It happens naturally when experience is allowed to unfold without control. Attention, when undirected, regulates itself. It moves, it pauses, it settles, it shifts again. There is no fixed pattern, no command structure. It responds to what is present. Trying to control attention often creates more tension. Control implies resistance. It implies rejecting what appears. It implies the belief that experience should be different from what it is. Observing without intervening does not mean eliminating thoughts or sensations. It means allowing attention to register them without becoming trapped. Thoughts arise. They stay briefly. They fade. Sensations shift. Experience continues. Discomfort may appear. Stillness may feel unfamiliar. But when reaction is delayed, these sensations change on their own. Not because they are managed, but because they are allowed to move naturally. Attention reveals that much mental suffering does not come from events themselves, but from constant reaction to them, from the urge to modify, accelerate, or escape experience. When attention stops reacting compulsively, experience expands. It includes more and excludes less, not because attention becomes passive, but because resistance decreases. The environment does not change. Time continues to pass. External circumstances remain the same, but the relationship to experience shifts. Attention no longer fragments experience in the same way. It does not jump as urgently. It does not attempt to resolve every stimulus. It stays longer with each perception without needing to interpret it. This state is not permanent. Attention disperses again. It anticipates again. It reacts again. And this too becomes part of observation. There is no ideal state to maintain, no condition to achieve. The purpose is not to stabilize attention, but to understand how it actually functions when it is not being controlled. Attention does not need training to exist. It is already operating continuously. What changes is the relationship with it. When attention is observed without intervention, it stops being a tool and becomes a phenomenon. Something that can be noticed, felt, recognized. This observation does not provide quick answers. It does not offer conclusions. It does not promise solutions. But it reveals something essential. Attention does not require a constant object to remain active. It can stay open, available, undirected. In that openness, experience becomes broader and less tense, not because the mind becomes silent, but because it stops dominating every moment. Attention continues. There is no defined ending. There is no clear conclusion. And within this continuity, the mind gradually learns, without effort or instruction, that not everything needs to be directed, resolved, or controlled. Some experiences do not require action. They only require awareness.